The year is 2014. You just got home from school, and all you've been thinking about is the Nintendo Wii in your room that you've been dying to play. You boot up the system, turn on the CRT, and notice a game in the drive. One you hadn't played before, Manhunt 2. Sitting right there on the screen, you curiously press it, and drive yourself into the realm of one of the most controversial games that have ever released. This is how I was first introduced into the Rockstar Games franchise. Manhunt, like many other games, has a special place in my heart. I was first introduced to the series through the hardest to obtain installment, Manhunt 2. Now, Manhunt 2 is an oddball title compared to the first installment. It dropped a few key features that made Manhunt, Manhunt, and instead replaced them with different mechanics and story aspects. The second game is generally seen as inferior and just worse than the amazing perfect game of Manhunt 1, sarcasm intended. Now, while both games have their issues, do I agree that Manhunt 1 is worse than Manhunt 2? Well, that's hard to answer. We're gonna have to look over Manhunt 2 before I make a full conclusion and compare them at the end, based on several factors to conclude which is the superior title. Now, to actually play Manhunt 2, you have to jump through a few hoops. I mean, we can't even review the game without playing it, right? Well, as mentioned in Manhunt Part 2, the copy of Manhunt on Steam is a buggy mess due to anti-piracy measures. Now, the copy of Manhunt 2 on the Steam store? It's gone. Now, why was it removed from the Steam store? Well, it was rated adults only on launch by the ESRB because it was so much worse than the original. More gore, better yet unimpressive graphics at the time, and a whole heck of a lot more executions. Just the change to the rating from adults only to M by the ESRB in the US, they had to blur the screen during executions and remove the scoring system. That's why the game looks a bit different than the original during executions. So, that answers the question, how do we play? You can't get it on Steam, so you're going to need to either buy a disc copy on the Wii, or the PSP or the PS3, whichever console is on, or pirate it, which is not a great solution, but what else can you do? So I use Metal to film all of my clips, right? When I was filming with Metal for all the clips of Manhunt 2, some of them just didn't have the UI. They were missing a few things, like the filter over the screen during executions, the HUD icons. This makes me think that they were coded in weirdly and potentially later in development and not in the full EXE. That's just a thought anyway. Some of the clips were filmed with actual UI as seen before, but others didn't have the UI. I apologize, but I am not going back to complete both endings a fourth time because Metal doesn't want to clip it properly. Oh, and if anyone else is having this issue, I'd love to know a fix. I found a fix myself, but it's kind of weird. You have to go into the Metal settings and select screen instead of recording a specific window, which gives me a bit of privacy concerns, but it is what it is. Back to the video. Now, we all know the story of the first game, Manhunt 1, and if you don't, you should check out the video on Manhunt 1 linked in the cards. I go over a few topics in there that I'll bring up again here, so I recommend checking them out. Manhunt 2 drives away from the snuff film theme of the original, and it's very over the top about it too. First off, meet the main antagonist at the beginning of the game, which is far different from the original, in which you have no idea what's going on. Well, there's also location differences. Instead of taking place in the Rust Belt Carcer City as in the original, it takes place in Cottonmouth, Louisiana, based on New Orleans, of course. You're Daniel Lamb, an inmate at Dixmoor Asylum for the criminally insane. Now hold on. Why are you admitted to this asylum in the first place? Well, thankfully, you get an answer near the end of the game. Let me explain the full story up until this point and things will make a lot more sense. Reminder that this will have spoilers for the game, so if not, I recommend you honestly click off the video. This entire video is going to have spoilers. Now, before we start, let's go over the important characters. A couple of them you see in the intro cutscene. The first one you see is Dr. White, then you see Leo Casper, and Dr. Pickman. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's go to the actual story. Daniel Lamb is a researcher and top scientist of the Pickman Project, which is a program that brainwashes people and uses mind control to create the perfect assassin. The team of researchers end up creating the Pickman Bridge, which is basically a Neuralink that has a personality, memories, and the skills of a trained assassin. The goal was to have it turned on and off at will, however their funds were going to be cut. Daniel volunteered his life to test Pickman Bridge, hoping that he'd get paid enough to clear him and his family's debts and provide for them. The only problem? Yeah, the bridge kinda malfunctioned, and Daniel ended up developing dissociative identity disorder. Also, correction from another video, I accidentally called DID or split personality disorder SPD. Daniel is able to completely talk and communicate with Leo. Leo is the mine that was inserted into the Pikmin bridge. Daniel basically is insane and hallucinating him to be real without having any idea that he is hallucinating. After Leo was implanted into his brain, he went on a killing spree and murdered police, members of the project, torched the project records of himself and Daniel, and he finally made his way to Daniel's house and killed his wife. Wow, that was dark. Far worse than Manhunt 1, I'd say. I'm not even caught up yet. This is just what happens before the game even begins. After he was caught by the project, they erased his memory, burnt his house down, and had him admitted to Dixmoor. The scientists were studying the effects of the Pikmin bridge and attempting to remove it without much luck. Now we're all caught up, alright? So, Daniel escapes from Dixmoor with the help of Leo, which is really just the Pikmin bridge talking to him. I won't spoil the rest of the game, but that's the leading story. Now, some weapons were brought over from Manhunt 1, but others are completely new. Let's go over the weapons in Manhunt 2 and the differences between the versions in Manhunt 1. Oh, did I mention some weapons are only available in certain versions of the game? Let's talk about it. For the yellow class weapons, we have the bottle exclusive to the PSP and PS2 versions. This appears in so many missions that I can't even talk about which specific ones. The brick in Sexual Deviance and Origins, which is odd because I swear I used it in other levels. The can, which is in so many episodes that I can't even count. The golf ball, which is exclusive to the episode Domestic Disturbance. And the disembodied head, which can be obtained from decapitating someone. These can be obtained from a gruesome execution from a wire, a gruesome execution from the power saw, a gruesome execution from the handheld saw, a hasty or violent execution from the fire axe, a gruesome execution from the hedge trimmers, an execution from the katana aside from the hasty, a gruesome execution from the shovel, hitting a corpse with a saw, fire axe, katana, or swinging a fire axe, katana, shovel, or sickle around a corner while standing and not crouching. The head is also required to open 2 doors in the game, one in Sexual Deviance and the other in Origins. The brick, bottle, can, and head are seen in both Manhunt 1 and 2. For green class weapons, we have the glass shard obtainable in the episodes Awakening, Sexual Deviance, Red Light, Bee's Honeypot, Assassination, Most Wanted, Ritual Cleansing on the PC and Wii only, Origins, Broadcast Interrupted, and finally Altered State. The pen, which appears in Awakening, Bee's Honeypot, Ritual Cleansing, and Origins. The plastic bag is found in Awakening, Ghosts, Red Light, Best Friends, Assassination on the Wii only, Most Wanted, and Domestic Disturbance. The syringe is the first weapon you find, found in Awakening, Ghosts, Sexual Deviance, Red Light, Ritual Cleansing, and Personality Clash. The whiskey bottle is exclusive to the PC and Wii versions. It is found in Ghosts, Red Light, Most Wanted, Ritual Cleansings, and Origins. It's not found on any other version other than the PC and Wii. The wire appears in Ghosts, Red Light on the Wii only, Best Friends, Ritual Cleansing, and Altered State. The wire, plastic bag, and glass shards are available in Manhunt 1 as well. For blue class weapons, things get a little bit more fun with some new additions. We have the power saw, also known as the circular saw, which can be obtained in Ghosts on the Wii version only, Sexual Deviance, Assassination on the PC and Wii only, Most Wanted, Ritual Cleansing, and Broadcast Interrupted in the PC and Wii versions. The crowbar can be obtained in Ghosts, Sexual Deviance, Safe House, Most Wanted, Ritual Cleansing, Origins, Broadcast Interrupted, Altered State, and Personality Clash. The flashlight, also known as the torch, is a weapon only in the PSP and PS2 versions. It can only be seen in the episodes Most Wanted and Domestic Disturbance in those 2 versions respectively. The saw, also known as the hacksaw, which is only available in 1 episode aside from the PC port, and Ritual Cleansing is available in the PC when every other release it is available in Origins. The nightstick is the next weapon available, which can be seen in Awakening but not obtained, and can be seen in Red Light, Best Friends, Ritual Cleansing, and Domestic Disturbance as weapons. The pliers are seen in Awakening on the Wii version, Red Light, Bee's Honeypot, Ritual Cleansing only on the PC and Wii versions, Broadcast Interrupted on the Wii, and Domestic Disturbance. The Razor Blade, also known as the Cutthroat Razor, is a PC and Wii exclusive weapon, seen in Red Light, Ritual Cleansing, and Origins. The Sickle can be found in Ghost on the PC and Wii only, Best Friends, Broadcast Interrupted, Altered State, and Personality Clash. Now for the guns. We have the Flare Gun, which can be obtained by killing Michael and his ghosts in the episodes Best Friends and Personality Clash respectively. The Tranquilizer Pistol is the next firearm, instead of the rifle version from Manhunt 1. It's been slimmed down into a handgun. It can be obtained in Origins by killing Pikmin, and Personality Clash by Pikmin's ghost. The Revolver 6-shooter can only be obtained in Safe House, in which you start with the gun. It was originally obtainable in Best Friends in the PS2 beta, but was replaced by the light handgun in the final version. It's also one of the most uncommon guns in the game, tied with the sniper rifle, sawn-off shotgun, and the crossbow. The light handgun, also known as the Glock, can be obtained in Best Friends, Safe House, Bee's Honeypot, Assassination, Broadcast Interrupted, Personality Clash in the PC version only, and Release Therapy. The heavy handgun, also known as the Desert Eagle, can be obtained in Assassination, Most Wanted, Altered State, and Release Therapy. On the PS2 beta, it was intended to be found in Safe House instead of the revolver, but was cut. There was also supposed to be a heavy handgun with torch variant, but it was also cut due to unknown reasons. The submachine gun, also known as the Uzi, can be obtained in Bee's Honeypot, Assassination, Most Wanted, Broadcast Interrupted, Altered State on the PC and Wii only, and Release Therapy. Wow, 14 weapons for Blue class. That's a lot, but we're not done yet. We still have to talk about the Red class weapons, which there are quite a few of as well. Get ready. The Fire Axe only appears twice in Manhunt, in Sexual Deviance and unobtainable in Personality Clash seen behind the gates. It was also meant to be obtained in Broadcast Interrupted, but never made it until the final game. The Baseball Bat, or Chained Bat, is seen in the episodes Sexual Deviance, Red Light, Bee's Honeypot, and Broadcast Interrupted. The Hedge Trimmers don't appear too often, only in Ghost in the PC and Wii versions, and Domestic Disturbance. The Katana is... Wait, there's a Katana in Manhunt 2? I didn't even know that until writing this. It's only in one episode in the PC, PlayStation 2, and PSP versions. I first played Manhunt 2 on the Wii, so that's maybe why I hadn't realized there was a katana in the game. It only appears in Broadcast Interrupted in a hidden spot. The mace is a Wii exclusive weapon found in Sexual Deviance. I guess fitting for the episode's theme. The shovel's a fun one, seen in Red Light, Assassinations exclusively on the Wii, Most Wanted on the PC, Domestic Disturbance only on the PC and Wii, Personality Clash. Oddly enough, it'll always be bloodstained no matter if it was used to kill or not. It's also the only weapon to destroy and cut off heads. How fun. The Sledgehammer, depending on which version you play, will either be incredibly familiar to you or you'd have forgotten about it altogether. On the PC and Wii versions, it's seen in Awakening, Safe House, Bee's Honeypot, Assassination, and Domestic Disturbance. On the PSP and PS2 versions, it's only seen in Bee's Honeypot. The Stun Prod is the final Red class melee weapon in the game, being obtained in Sexual Deviance, Ritual Cleansing, and Origins. It's like the Stun Baton from Half-Life 2. The Shotgun is a Red class firearm in the game, seen in Safe House, Assassination but only in the cutscenes, Most Wanted, Origins, and Domestic Disturbance. An odd detail is in the cutscene for Assassination, they're using the SAP-12 model from Manhunt 1. Probably a placeholder, who knows. The Shotgun plus Torch is next, being a modified shotgun. It's seen in Most Wanted and Domestic Disturbance, though not obtainable in the latter. In Manhunt 2, the sawn-off shotgun is only seen once in Bee's Honeypot. Not much to say about it, the gun kinda sucks. The crossbow, as mentioned earlier, is one of the rarest guns in the game, only appearing in the episodes Altered State and Domestic Disturbance on the Wii version. It's also one of only 2 scoped rifles in the game, the other being the sniper rifle. However, the crossbow is silent and its arrows can be picked up. The crossbow also used a different model in development. The assault rifle is next up, being seen in Broadcast Interrupted, Altered State as a starting weapon, Personality Clash, and Release Therapy. The final weapon available to you in Manhunt 2 is the sniper rifle as mentioned before, seen in the episodes Assassination as a starting weapon and Broadcast Interrupted. Manhunt 2 also features a slightly different execution system, with quick time movements being used. However, this can be disabled in settings. Instead of the 3 we all know, hasty, violent, and gruesome, there's now 6. Jumping executions are the first kind. and can be done when you're above an enemy. All jumping executions will always be gruesome. The next kind of firearm executions, which can be done while holding a gun. These will always be gruesome, though they weren't always this way, as in the beta, hasty and violent execution was possible for firearms. The PC and Wii versions of these are different from the PSP and PS2 versions, as the PC and Wii versions only have two kinds, one for blue class and one for red class. The PSP and PS2 versions of the execution have their own unique animations for the different guns, just like jumping in environmental executions. Speaking of which, there's also environmental executions. There's several different environmental executions, many of which were cut. Now, what is an environmental execution? Well, as you can see on screen, they're always gruesome executions in which the environment is used to your advantage. Let's go over them. There's the dentist's chair, the fire extinguisher, the fuse box, the gasoline puddle in which it's self-made by pouring petroleum on the ground, a grinder, an Iron Maiden, a manhole, a meat hook, an oil drum, a telephone, and a toilet cistern. In the beta, 2 executions were cut, that being the picket fence and the guillotine. There's also a ton of cut environmental executions, these being the vending machine, the dumpster, the Aztec altar, the harvester, the prop, the barrier, the broken window, the door, the wooden plank, and the fence pole, the chair, the sink, the bath, and Agent Prime, who is a cut character from the game. Nobody knows what this execution would have looked like since no animations or audio were created for him. Finally, we have the tombstone, the television, the window throw, and the hangman pole. Chapter 4 wasn't actually meant to be the conclusion. The script for this video is actually far bigger than what we just talked about. The reason the video is being cut in half is the final version of the video is 30 minutes long. I'm sorry everyone, but the video has to be cut here. In conclusion, Manhunt 2 features a different execution system from Manhunt 1, and it also has a ton of new additions. I'm super excited to get the second part out. In that video we talk about cut content, compare Manhunt 1 and 2 together to see which is superior, talk about which wiki is in the superior version. If you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe. I hate asking, but it's the best way you can support me right now. Thanks for watching, and thanks to you to all the people that have been watching and commenting on my videos. I never thought I would even make it this far, not on my second video at least. As of writing this, I'm at 1,000 views in total, which makes me incredibly glad that I even got past 100. Thank you all for all the support, and I'm hoping I can see you next time. Stay safe out there, and have a good one, everyone.